guys, Annie here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today we're in the world of Oasis Springs and we are on the Vista Quarry lot, which is down in the part of Oasis Springs closest to the Roomie's house. It's in that beautiful part of Oasis Springs where there's actual green grass and it's quite lovely. We're just about to do a walkthrough of the original before. This is one of our base game renovations. It's actually our last base game renovation for this month. As I said, we did 3 in Oasis Springs and 4 in Willow Creek. Please let me know in the comment section down below, have you enjoyed this? Do you want to see more of it? Do you want to see renovations of lots in different worlds using different packs and so forth? So the things about this lot that I think need improving is the floor plan and the lighting. I actually think the shape of this build is really nice and we do keep the majority of this shape. The other thing that I think is completely whack with this build is the backyard. It's got stairs, but yet the foundation isn't raised high enough to even need stairs. So that's very kind of dodgy. So the first thing I do is I really reduce the size of the actual shell, what you would call the shell of the home, and just adjust the roof height. So we adjust the roof height and we bring up this rectangular section. As you just saw, I raised the roof bit. That's all I do. That is all I do to the actual shell of the building. And then I obviously change the entire backyard. I get rid of pretty much everything. I keep the columns. I keep the kind of platformed roofing section at the front. We change the color. So the exterior color is actually meant to be a blue, but it really translates as a kind of green in this world, and that's to do with the lighting in Oasis Springs. It doesn't have the best lighting on some of these lots, so it does translate more green. We do change it to be more of I think a lighter blue, which you would have seen in the thumbnail. We keep the columns, those lattice type modern chunky columns, we keep those, and yeah. All right, moving very quickly inside. So what I'm doing here is I'm just starting to place furniture to kind of, capture the spacing and where I want things to go. The thing is I don't change a lot of this furniture. So I actually go with this furniture, but initially it was just placement furniture. So you walk in and you'll have a small hallway, which I will section off, and then I believe we have the kitchen and dining in one section and then the living room in a different room. So it's a very closed floor plan that we end up doing, but I keep these larger windows. I actually really like these modern windows. We do change the doors, I believe. I think we changed them to the newer modern-esque base game doors that we got as part of a newer update. I've mentioned them a few times this month as being a really good option to save money because they are quite affordable. So this is that really small entry that we've got, and then it leads into a very tiny, smaller extension of a hallway, I guess. And then you have so this is the right side of the build, and this is where the bedrooms and the bathroom is. So as you can see, the bathroom is positioned in the far right corner. And what I've done in this particular build is create what you call a Jack and Jill bathroom. So the entry to this bathroom is through both of the bedrooms. So both bedrooms has a door that leads into that one bathroom. So it's a 2x1 with that style bathroom. It's not too bad. At the end of the day, it's The Sims. It wouldn't be that bad. To live with that in real life would be a little bit annoying because guests would have to walk through somebody's bedroom to get to a bathroom. So it's not the greatest idea. Like, I wouldn't pick it in real life, but The Sims, it is completely fine. Yeah, so the color scheme for this build is lots of blues and greens and oranges and whatnot. And I've really used a lot of the newer base game objects. So as I said, those base game doors, I've used that new tile, the new so the wall and floor tiles I've used that beautiful blue color throughout the build. So the exterior wallpaper is a darker blue, which pairs really well with that blue tile that's in the kitchen and the bathroom. And then the exterior is a lighter blue. And this room that we're doing now is the master bedroom. I've used the bed that came with I think it was the Pride Month base game update, because I think it looks like a little bit more of a modern bed, and it had a bit of colour, and I definitely wanted to have some colour in this room. And I've pulled the purple from the bedspread into the carpet and also that wardrobe, which is a little bit more of a modern wardrobe. They've got their own computer, and then, as I said, that door there goes into the bathroom. So they have access to that little hallway plus the bathroom. This other larger room is a infant's room. I guess it's a female infant's room. I love this flowered floral wallpaper. I use it a ton. It's one of my favorite in the game. Paired with the rug that we got part of a base game update. I believe we got it around the time we got infants. There's obviously no changing table because it's base game only, but I've added in a couple of furniture pieces. I've used a bit of green to pull in from the rug and the bookcase. All right, so that's basically the overview of this home. So it's a 2x1 with that Jack and Jill bathroom. I would say it's a closed floor plan. You'll see later on how I do kind of the living areas. We're kind of working on the landscaping it right now. I'm thinking we're going to do it all. I'm not sure. But what I've done is use this beautiful lattice fencing. You see this a lot in Oasis Springs. And I've used it to kind of create division in that kind of division in the front of the build, and it adds a little bit more appeal to the facade. So that creates like an entryway, kind of like you'll see in a minute. I do use the eraser tool to remove some of the terrain paint so that it looks more like it's connected onto the driveway, which of course we use terrain paint so it's more affordable. This is the part where I'm sectioning off the kitchen and the dining from the living room. And as you can see, I've just used these archways to keep a closed floor plan, but still have it flow. And I really like this. I like the division between the kitchen and the dining to the living areas. All right, so back out the front, we've gone with that lattice fencing on the porch. And this is what I've kind of gone in with a terrain paint so that it looks like it's a pathway from the driveway. We'll be putting in a debug car, debug landscaping. This build is a little bit more expensive. It's 47,092 simoleons. It is a more pricey 2x1, but so was Rindle Rose, and that was the pricey 2x1 we did in Willow Creek. This backyard is completely different. It absolutely needed to be chopped and changed. Back in the time when the base game was released, we didn't have pools. So we do end up putting a pool in this build, and we put some play equipment. We do all the standard things that I do. We've gone in, I'm pretty sure we keep this fencing. This is just like a stone type base game fencing. I thought it was quite complementary with the other types of fencing that we used in the build. So, I've gone in with a pull. I could have gone with a curved pull, but I've just gone with a standard square pull. And I actually use a little bit of that fencing to kind of divide where the pool is versus where the play equipment is. And I've done that in a few of my more recent builds, and I've really liked it. I just visually like how it looks. And what I do is I actually created that area so that I can put the barbecue and a dining area. And it looks really good. I'm really happy with it. So I put in some lounge chairs, and we've gone in with the monkey bars, and I've just gone around and put in a whole pile of gardening stuff. And it just, I don't know, there's something about it that it just looks nicer. And because I guess throughout the whole, home itself, it has a very closed floor plan. I do like that out in the backyard, it still has that feeling of a, closed to semi-closed area. I don't know, it just feels kind of nice. The only other thing that would have been kind of good in this space is if I didn't have a pool, maybe a hot tub. But other than that, I really like it. So this is kind of one of those renovations where it's very much a change in floor plan and a change of furnishings. The actual build itself, the building itself, is relatively the same, but it's just had a really much needed facelift, I guess. We are going in with a whole pile of debug plants. These are just plants that are found in the area. I think these reddish ones or pinkish kind of color these ones are found in Willow Creek, but it's nice. So definitely these low-laying pink flowers are really nice. You can see those everywhere. And because we are in the greener part of Oasis Springs, I've gone in with those Basegame hedges that I've been raving about for the last couple of weeks. So I've gone in with those. They just, I don't know, they elevate the build a little bit more. And this was definitely more a modern mid-century home. If I was to, pick a style that this home represents, that would be the style that I give. All right, so as I said, I swapped out the front door, the back door. The front door is just a standard Basegame door. The back door is one of those newer, modern, larger doors because I had the space. I didn't have a lot of room to put in a front door because all it is a tiny little hallway. So I ended up just using a one tile wide door. And we are just going around and using all of those new modern windows. These are super affordable. I think they're like 50 simoleons each. So they are a good budget option. I then had this really blank space of wall. So I put in a chess table. And I thought to put just a bookcase in that front hallway, just because I didn't have a bookcase anywhere in the house, surprisingly enough. So I thought that would be important to add, just making sure there's enough dirt under all of the plants. And then we will be going into the tour, I believe. Oh, no. We are finally changing the wallpaper. So this is that blue that I was talking about. We're going to change the roof color as well. But I just feel like I still wanted a blue, but a lot of the blues just did not translate the way that they should because of the lighting in this world. I put in a cards table because the actual front porch was quite spacious, and I thought that's an item that would use up that space quite nicely. Put in some floor mats, and do we put in something else? A painting, some modern paintings. Again, just bringing in the blue, putting in some shelving, just trying to clutter this space because the walls did just seem a little too empty as well. I wonder if we do anything in the kitchen because I don't have any cabinets in there. I always forget upper cabinets and range hoods. And alarms. There doesn't seem to be any alarms in these Basegame renovations, which I've got to remember to put in. I love these lilies. They're one of my favorite plants in the Basegame. And yep, cool. We're just going in with some upper cabinetry. And I believe maybe some appliances. Oh, yep. Got a range hood and coffee maker. I put a dishwasher in this build. That again would add to the cost of this particular build as well. If I haven't mentioned, this build along with all of the Basegame renovations that I've done this month are available on the Sims 4 gallery. My gallery ID is Antoinette44. It is in the description below if needed. Feel free to check them out, download them, play with them. Yeah, and then for the next couple of weeks we will be doing I've got 2 Basegame builds and a third build which is kind of a continuation to a build that I've done already on the channel, which is the Clark family. They need a new house. So the Clark family is a family that I play with in my personal time, and they just need houses because the family just keeps getting bigger. So yeah. Oh, we hadn't done the bathroom yet. Okay, so this is the one bathroom in the house. You've got a shower tub combo, simple sink, and a toilet. All right, we are live in game. So you walk in that tiny, tiny hallway. You then head to the left-hand side, which is that kitchen and dining. And then also one of those archways you lead into the living room, which then gives you access to the exterior of the build, the outside, I should say. Back down a hallway, you have the first bedroom, which is the infant's room, their entrance into that Jack and Jill bathroom. And then that wraps around to the master bedroom, which is at the front of the build on the right-hand side. And then back through, right through to the living room. You then go outside the build. You have that play equipment, skill building, pool, lounge chairs, barbecue area, sitting area, and we're back to the front. That is the build today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this build. I enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.